Welcome to this session of Authors in Conversation. I'm so glad to have Robyn Ridley here talking about her wonderful book, Embrace Your Essence. Now, welcome, Robyn, and tell us all about the book and what it was that motivated you to write it.
I so love talking about my book because it's been a while in the making. Embrace Your Essence, Your Body and You. So one of the biggest things for me has been my connection to myself and my body. And I think as women, a lot of us experience difficulties around this. So it became a passion of mine. But this book was a while in the making, Jane, but it was because I'm a great procrastinator and I couldn't quite work out a format or a plan in my mind of how and when to talk about things. So it was easier to put it away. But once I made the decision, like, this has got to happen, I was actually quite quick instead of fluffing around and this bit here and this bit here. And so I think it's really important when you're writing a book that you do have some supports around that. And also there's so many options open to people. And what I would say is don't not do it. It's so important that we do it. You know, we need to be heard. And it's not just we need to be heard. Other women need to be able to have this understanding that they're not alone in many things.
But I get a lot of authors coming to me and they say, I've been trying to, write this book for 5 years. Can you help me? And I say, absolutely. And what's quirky about that is my first book took me 5 years to write. And it was all about, I was trying to outrun a part of my history that I didn't want to own. I was going to be okay to own it in the past tense, I should say, but not in the present tense.
Yeah.
But tell us more.
I found the editing process a bit of a challenge as well. I think it's really important, whoever you're working with, that you get to know your editor, because previously when I did a chapter in a book, I was told that I needed to share more of the emotion and the feeling rather than it being just a story. And of course, you could imagine the healing journey that went along with that, but that was a really good process. And then when I was writing this book, because it's probably more in that personal development, self-help type arena, I was told to sort of step out of the emotions a little bit, and because they felt that it could block the reader's flow. So for me, one, I needed to get to know the editor. And then two, I had to learn to write in a style that suited what it is that I was writing about, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I think with our personal story, we can have that emotional component, obviously. Yeah.
I think it's really important, actually.
Yeah, well, it is. It is. And it's still there, but it's not there to the degree that it may have been there previously. It's because there was so much more. So I guess just a little bit about how the book was structured. The first section is virtually my story, my journey. The second part is learning about you. So that had a section on understanding our beliefs and our emotions and so many things, from unusual things like past life regression through to looking at betrayal and things that we're presented with on a daily basis. And so that was all in that chapter. So that's the largest part of the book. And then there was the section on confidence and learning how to celebrate ourselves. And then I got contributions from women to actually share photos in the book at a time when they felt confident. And I found that fascinating because confidence means a different thing to everybody. And I really loved it. Like, some people were exercising, some people were having a glamour image done, and, all these things. And it was just a beautiful experience to have that. And I could imagine, I could even imagine writing stories about it. But anyway, that's a whole new thing. And then the final chapter with my tools, and interestingly, colour was one of them. I got to know a lot about myself through colour, and I got to know a lot about myself, believe it or not, through astrology. So they're very different, but that was my journey. But the book's not all like that. It's just that's how I worked through whatever I needed to work through to get to this point. So I just want to share a little bit about me. Is I haven't always been confident. I've always had this thing running of being not good enough. And unfortunately, when you're not good enough, you don't do many of the things that you could or maybe should be doing. And so it took a lot to work through this belief system within myself that I actually am good enough. And it was all part of the writing the book as well, which helped expand that. And then getting to that point of confidence and celebration. So for me, I celebrate myself all the time now. I just love it. And it's like people who knew me previously and would meet me now just wouldn't know me. And well, I don't even know me. So it's been a real growth. And I think you would understand that writing a book is part of that development and growth.
It's quite a transformational journey for a lot of people, coming to terms with which story am I writing about myself? Who am I turning up as? And the question about beliefs and the not good enough and the how much time it can take people to come to terms with the fact, that's what being human looks like. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your head. If you've got these negative beliefs coming up from time to time, it is part of the deal, but it's our prerogative to be able to morph and change and develop for as long as we live. And writing a book that can bring up some of our stuff can just be so incredibly cathartic as well. And so I'm loving hearing about your journey, that you're bumping into people now and they go, what's happened? Who is this fantastic, confident woman?
Yeah. And in the belief section, well, that's how I sort of started that part of the book, was loving that body positivity and that, no body shaming. So if there's one message I want to get across, and I know I'm talking about being an author, but it is not putting our bodies down. Yes. Or the bodies of others down, because we just don't know.
You don't know the circumstances of other people and how that's going to impact them. But just also what I loved you mentioning is that section you've got at the end of each chapter, that's a wonderful technique to use in the self-help genre in particular, because that gives the reader an opportunity to pause and reflect on what they've just read in the context of what does this mean for me? Yes. And that's how you really connect with your audience. And of course, for you, that thing about connection is important, because your book, among other things, could be a bridge between that place where someone's sitting and they're not brave enough to reach out to a coach. They don't even know what that would involve. And that can build a bridge between that potential client who could really benefit from working with you, to actually then feel like they know, like, and trust you enough to actually reach out and say, hey, how would it look if I was to work with you? Because I resonate with so much of what you said. It feels like you're the person who could help me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think also, when you talk about that, it's like, where do we go for help, or what do we do for help? And that's, one of the sections I put, that the different ways that we might want assistance. Like some people actually like the talking therapies. Others need body work, and we're all so different. And I think that's why I feel knowing who we are and knowing what our needs are is pivotal.
Yes.
So when we talk about being an author and writing the books, I said, well, who am I? Of course, now I've worked in women's health for many years. I've worked in women's health, sexual health, in the health arena for a long time. And so I've worked with women across the lifespan. And so for me, that's a privilege, actually, to work with women throughout their lives. And so when we talk about writing a book, I thought, well, who am I? Who am I to, that old...
I know that one.
But somebody said, well, you're not necessarily the expert overall. You're the expert of you and your journey. And so that's what this is. So, yes, I am an expert of my experience, and I am an expert of the research that I have done to having a deeper understanding of that. But I don't profess to be an expert of anyone else. So I just invite and hold space for women. And being an author enables me to go, well, this is my journey. And if it helps you, that's wonderful. So it's just holding space for the conversations. So you could imagine, and I know you've heard me speak about deep subjects, to share that. And then be able to hold space to enable another to share what they need to share is, again, an honour.
Also a gift, though, Robyn, because not a lot of people can do that. You can do that. You can hold that space, but not that many people actually can.
Okay, yeah, true. Thank you.
You take it for granted because that's what you do. But tell me also a little bit more about the what you do part, let's say a client comes up, they've read your book and they've gone, yeah, I think she's going to get
Yeah.
it. And they come up. What is it? You're doing a bit of the general coaching, or just tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, I love working with archetypes, but more importantly, I have been doing some one-on-one sessions. And what I've decided now with my program, it needs to be one-on-one. I believe that's just me at this moment in time. I'm shifting from that group focus to the one-on-one, because that's when we can really explore.
And you're at a place in your business where you're able to make decisions like that without any fear around, but all those other ones I miss out on or whatever. There's the author journey, and then there's the business journey as well. And I'm at my 10-year anniversary now. So I look at how about every couple of years I've kind of morphed. Initially, it was just helping people write the book. Then it was helping people write and publish. So I set up my own publishing wing. Then it was help them promote the book through free publicity and those kind of things. Then I launched my author showcase events at the State Library of New South Wales for anyone who wants to go into the speaker circuit. And now more recently, the audiobook wing of my business. So I look at that and I go, isn't that interesting that I'll be happily ferreting away for a couple of years and then I want to create something else,
Yeah.
The interesting thing, the journey of the business person too. Where can people find you then, Robyn? Because I dare say that people watching this are going to go, okay, yep, I want to talk to Robyn.
Yeah. Well, the easiest place is robynridley.com.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's got the Facebook links and everything else in there anyway. So
fantastic. Well, Robyn, thank you so much. This has been really a great conversation, but so valuable for people who are sitting on the fence about writing their book and thinking, well, yeah, I can't do it. It's been taking me years already and I haven't done it yet. Well, it took you years. It took me years. Don't be fooled. If you feel like there's a book in you that should come out, then it should come out, and eventually it will. I promise you that. So, Robyn, thank you very much, and we'll be seeing each other sometime soon. I think maybe I come to one of your retreats.
oh, that would be nice. That would be good.